Hey, y'all, and welcome to another episode of Spiritual Intelligence 101 with your spiritual bestie, Big Taj. Today, we're actually going to talk about how the universe works. And I think we need to have this conversation from a very basic level, just so you understand how to use your technology, how to use your thought and your emotions to get the life that you actually want. Okay. So, the first thing that I need to talk about is the masculine and feminine principle. And I've discussed this multiple times on my platform, but I'm going to just speak about one aspect of it in today's episode. Okay. So when we talk about the masculine principle, what we're actually talking about is thought energy. Thought is how the masculine energy communicates to us. All right. Now we got three states of consciousness in us. Okay. The mind, the body, the soul. Okay. The mind is the masculine. It communicates in thought. The soul is the feminine. It communicates in emotion. And then the body is the body, and it communicates in action. Okay, those are your three states of consciousness. But the masculine side of that is the mind. So that means knowledge, information. Okay, that's what I want you to think of when you think of the masculine: knowledge and information. Now, how do you use this masculine principle? You use the masculine principle through focus, meaning whatever it is that you focus on is you using this masculine principle. Now, in the universe that we live in, you're granted free will and you're granted abundance. Those are your birthrights. In order for you to gain abundance using your masculine principle, it comes through what it is that you decide to focus on. So if you focus on the positive, you'll get an abundance of the positive. If you focus on the negative, you'll get an abundance of the negative, because the universe does not work in don'ts. That's why in English class, they tell you like, oh, this is not proper English, but we still have to teach it to you. Yeah, it's because they're telling you the universe doesn't operate in that light. It only operates based off of what it is that you focus on. So if you are trying to create the reality that you want, you have to focus on what you actually want and not what you don't want. And what I mean by that is, well, I don't want to be broke, so I need to do X, Y, and Z. That's you operating from a lack mindset. You're not operating like somebody who realizes that abundance is their birthright. You operating like somebody who is rooted in fear and thinks that it's not their birthright. Therefore, they need to chase it. So you have to kind of step into this energy of, I can't worry about it. Everything always works out for me, because it does when you're using your technology properly. Okay. So when it comes to the masculine principle, you have to focus your attention on what it is that you do want, and you have to radically trust that the universe is going to provide for that. And it is. A lot of times we ask the universe for something, or we say our prayer, whatever the case may be. And what we don't realize is that as soon as we think the thought, it's created in the spiritual realm. Okay. And as above, so below, which means that it is coming and going to manifest in this realm. But a lot of times we're keeping it away from ourselves. It's knocking on the door. We done turned the lights off, closed the blinds, and we hiding. And the reason why we can't see that is because we don't realize that in this specific reality, we are living in duality consciousness. Okay. But we're also living in the lowest vibration, which means that even though time and space are not real, in higher vibrations, it is very real in this reality. And the reason why it's real in this reality is because the energy is slowed down so much. You can kind of see this when you're on the shroomy shrooms. When you're on the shroomy shrooms and you think a thought, that shit happens right in front of you, right? That's teaching you, because that's the Earth's teacher, is teaching you that this is possible. However, in this reality, because we have belief systems that are keeping us from experiencing things the moment that we think them, like time and space, there's a bit of a lag. So during that lag, what you should be doing is getting up every single day and making sure that you are having a good time, that you are doing the things that get you closer to what it is that you want to experience in your reality. You're doing your visualizations. You're making sure that you're immersing yourself in the experience, and you stay focused on the idea, or you stay focused on the thought that gets you to where you want to go. But what happens instead is that a lot of us are rooted in fear because we live in a fear-based society. So instead of during that time from the moment we say we want something, because we don't see it happening according to our own plan, we feel that space between the time that we say that we want something and the time that it's supposed to show up. We feel it with all the things that could go wrong. We feel it with worry. We feel it with stress. And that is not how the universe works, because that's you literally locking the doors, turning off the lights, closing the blinds while it's at your door knocking. So it's really important that you learn how to manage your mind in this reality through, I don't know, meditation. Yeah, y'all know I say all the time, I didn't think that I was going to be the type of person on the internet preaching meditation, but it quite literally changed my life because I am able to direct my will better. And you direct your will through the masculine principle, meaning that you need to do more than focus. You need to concentrate on that thought. Now, focus means that you can focus on the concept overall, but concentration means you are locked in on that one thought. So you need to hold the thought. And then when you wake up every single day, you need to make sure that you act like a person who knows it's yours. All right. So that's the masculine side of things. Now, the feminine side of the things is emotions. Okay. So not only do you need to get up in the day and make sure that you hold the thought that I'm going to get this thing. I can't wait for this thing to show up. This thing is on its way, whatever the thought is. Right. But now you also have to feel the feelings associated with you bringing something in. All right. Now, I talk about this a lot, but the emotional vibrational scale, you can Google it, but I'll put up a picture here as well. Now, we are supposed to be at that neutral point in the middle where the green is, right? In order for us to bring something in, we need to feel the emotions that are going up the spiral staircase, which is acceptance, love, reason, enlightenment being the highest. But if we want to keep something away, we go down the spiral staircase, which is anger, pride, ego, apathy, shame, guilt, right? Those push things away from us. All right. So in order for you to bring something in, you need to go up the staircase, because that where it says expanded on the side, that is letting you know that that brings something in. Whereas if you go down, it pushes something away. All right. So when you wake up in the morning and you're holding that thought, you also need to feel these emotions. You need to be having a good time. You need to be enjoying the process of working towards your goals. And then you need to embody, I can't worry about it. Everything is always working out for me. And make sure that when you are doing the action that is associated with the thought and the emotion, right, which we'll get to in just a second, but when you're doing the action, you have to feel the proper emotion. Now, I talked about just a few seconds ago how all of us are in a fear-based society and most of us are operating out of fear. So what happens is we have the thought and we're holding the thought, but we're feeling fear, which means that it's going away from us. Instead, you have to have the thought, hold the thought, but be feeling some type of joy, enlightenment, excitement, bliss. Okay. Now, how do you do that? The actions that you take when you get up. Now, the actions is the part of the body. Now, when I say the actions that you take when you give up, your actions is the wisdom. And what I mean by that is wisdom is the application of knowledge and understanding. Well, knowledge, as I said, was the masculine, but the feminine is understanding. The feminine or emotions help you to process your experience. They add depth to your experience. They're telling you whether you like something or you don't like something. Your feelings are meant to guide you. Your feelings are your intuition and your imagination. So the masculine is information and knowledge. The feminine is intuition and imagination. So now you got to hold the image, because that's the imagination. Hold the image, but be feeling some type of joy when you're doing it. And that's why visualization is so important when it comes to activating that feminine energy, because everything happens in your imagination. And so you need the two to marry each other. The information and the thought, holding the thought, needs to match the visualization and the feeling that you're feeling to bring something in, which is acceptance, joy, bliss, excitement, enlightenment. And enlightenment is learning. You have to continue to change your perspective on whatever it is that you're trying to bring in. So when you add the third part, which is the body, you need to make sure that when you get up every single morning that you're doing something that moves you closer towards the goal, because the thought and the emotion are not enough. You have to make sure that you are moving yourself closer to the goal. So let me give you an example. Say, for instance, that you're an artist and you tell your parents, like, I want to do art. And you have the type of parents who are like, hell fucking no, you a first generation. You about to go be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. So you want to please your parents because your parents have been really hard on you. They work really hard. They're immigrants in this country, and you don't want to disappoint them because they risk their whole life to make sure that you had a better future. Okay. So every time that you're doing your art, this thought is in the back of your head that you meant to be a lawyer, and you decide, you know what, regardless of what my parents say, I'm still going to be an artist. And you go and you tell your parents that, and they call you lazy, and they call you, say you never going to make it, and nobody's ever going to watch your art, and you're not even that good of an artist, and all of these things. And you internalize that because that's usually what children do. We don't have any type of control over anything or any type of power. So what we do instead is internalize what people say to us, because at least if we are the problem, we have control over the situation, right? So we internalize that. And now when we painting, we're not having fun no more. We keep thinking about our parents saying that nobody's ever going to buy our art. We ain't shit. We lazy. We this, we that. Okay. So instead of bringing something in, you're pushing it away now. Okay. What you should do instead is, say, for instance, that same situation is happening, but you decide, you know what? It doesn't matter. It's my life. And this is what brings me joy. And I know that I'm a great artist. I already got into art school. I already have the confirmation I need to know that I'm on the right path. I already got people who is looking at my art, ready to buy my art. And so you continue having fun while you're painting this painting, and maybe you take on the personality of, I'm going to prove them wrong, because they just don't understand. They just don't see the vision. And you having fun every single time that you paint. Well, now you bringing something in. Now you letting the opportunities in. But let me tell you something. The barrier when it comes to anything in life is always your mind. Your mind is the matrix. Your mind is the trap. So if you can manage what is going on up here and you can keep this on the right frequency, then everything else will fall into place. But your emotions are what magnetize something to you. Your thoughts are electric. Your emotions are magnetic. Your emotions attract things or repel things. Yes, your emotions are the remote control, you setting the channel to the proper channel. But your thoughts are telling you where you're going. Okay. And then your actions are helping you to bring it in, or helping you to balance the two out, to hold the thought and to hold the image. It's keeping you on the right track. So that is how the universe works. All right. Now, I talked about the spiritual side of things, and how the moment that you think, the thought is created in the spirit. Now, the thing that keeps it away from you is always your mind. What's going on in your mind? So you need to manage your mind. You need to nurture your mind. And you need to make sure that you stay focused on whatever the idea is, the thought is, the image is. You do your visualizations when you get up. You make sure that the actions that you take throughout your day are leading you closer to that thing, because you know for a fact that it's going to be yours. And then you remove the time and space, because our understanding of time and space is what actually keeps us trapped. Our understanding of time and space, or what we've been taught about time and space, which does not exist, but it exists to us because we have it stuck in our belief system. That is what keeps us from getting things immediately, because whatever we believe or whatever we expect to happen is what actually happens, because we are that powerful. So one thing that I tell myself is, whatever I ask for shows up within 72 hours. And it always does. You have to change the mindset. You have to change the belief system. But then you also still need to hold the thought, because you're going to need some type of confirmation. Hell, I did. So hold the thought. Make sure when you get up in the morning, you know where you're going. You know what the goal is, right? That's you holding the thought. And then you need to make sure you take an action that makes you feel joy, excitement, bliss, enlightenment when you get up, because that helps you to pull and magnetize that thing to you. But it's created immediately. Free will and abundance are your birthrights. You just have to know how to use your technology. Okay. So I hope this episode was super informative. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments for me. Like, share, comment, repost, do all the things, because you know they love to hide me from the world. Share it with 3 people if you can. And I will see y'all next episode. Until next time.